Okay, I just finished drawing another test plate. I am trying to perfect a way to make a ball grain lithographic print without going through the steps of putting it in a lacquer base. So I'm using materials that I've tried before, and I'm just sort of honing it down a bit to make it more reliable. Okay, so the materials I'm using this is a little confusing since it was made in a number of steps, but the first step was to transfer this map, which is a map of East Prussia in 1914, the Tannenberg campaign in World War I. Was transferred. When it's transferred to the plate, it transfers backwards. When it prints, it'll print forward. This area here is a wash made of toner and alcohol. This is the toner that is made for Xerox machines. And you mix it with alcohol, using rubbing alcohol. It's also referred to as isopropyl alcohol. It's also referred to as denatured alcohol. So it's a little confusing, but it works well. So you dilute the toner. This is about maybe I just made it in this little jar here. This is about 1 part toner and 5 or 6 parts alcohol, and then you can dilute it further with alcohol. So all of this area, these drips, these areas, this over here, okay. This area here is Prismacolor. I drew a tone. I think it'll print a little darker than it looks. The nice thing about the Prismacolor is it's good for detail. It's a substitute for the lithographic crayon. It's easy to sharpen, they're inexpensive, and I think that I'm hopeful they'll work well. So I expect this area to get darker and a little coarser. These little bow ties are also Prismacolor. This area here is a material called litho, and it's made to resemble vine charcoal. And you can, this area was pretty much just drawn on the side of the coal to create a tone. This is really reliable, and it's good stuff. These little washes here were made with rapidograph ink, and I diluted it with water. This is ultra draw rapidograph ink. I don't know what will happen here. But this is also, all these little lines here were drawn with the same ink, the rapidograph ink. It's a permanent ink, it dries quickly, and I used a drawing tool with a nib with 5 points on it to draw these lines, to kind of imitate the map. And so all of those things are rapidograph ink. These blue lines over here were the Sharpie pen. This is the Sharpie brand fine pen. What else? I used a number of Staedtler pigment liners. These are a permanent, waterproof. That's what I mean by permanent. They're supposed to be light fast, whatever. But the main part here is they're waterproof. And that was used for little areas going through here, and that's it. So the last time, and I used the Ultra Draw, the super black as well, and the super black ink is used through here, that line, and with this wash here, okay? So we'll see how that all turns out. And now I'm going to just gum the plate. Before doing that, last time I didn't use talc. This time I'm trying it with talc first. I'm just gently applying it. And the reason I decided to try it with the talc is that the purpose of the talc is to break the surface tension. So when you put the gum arabic on the plate, it should help it stick to the, it'll help it not be repelled by the grease in the drawing materials, and the waxes in the drawing materials. So the etch should come in contact with the plate a little bit better. So most of it gets massaged in, it gets absorbed by the drawing materials, and the rest of it you can put back. And now I'm just going to use gum arabic. The last time I did this, I used a tapum, which is half gum arabic and half tannic acid. This time I'm just going to try straight gum. And you can apply this with your hand, with a brush. I like using my hand. I think it doesn't waste as much gum as in it. I don't know, I just like it. It lets you know if there's any debris or anything on the plate. So I'm just going to massage this around. I don't think it needs to be on here very long. So there's no acid or the gum etch itself is somewhat acidic. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm just going to take my gum sponge. I reserve a sponge just for using with gum arabic and no other purpose. And I'm pulling the gum over the edges to help desensitize the rest of the plate. I don't want the gum to go underneath the plate. If it does, it creates a mess because when you go to print, it just comes shooting out. I'm working at the press now, so I'm just going to gum this and then get my ink ready and proof it. Okay, so that's it. I've removed most of the gum. This is, I'm just keeping it moving until it starts to get tacky and starts drying. You don't want to put this on in puddles. And another point is that when you are doing the washes and everything on the plate, they do look darker at first. And then when you use the heat gun to set the washes or fuse them to the plate, they lighten up a little bit. So that's normal. Everything lightens up a little bit when you hit it with the heat gun. Visually, shouldn't affect it.